permutations that is.
At least 12. We got LeBlanc and Zach Band right off the bat, so getting rid of Cho'Gath as well. Premier jungler on this patch. And I don't think Moon's Cho'Gath was like that big of an influence over last game, but just the locket shields in some of the late game team fights, big enough reason to get rid of him.
Still be Cho'Gath once he gets a few stacks under his belt, or in his belly. Last few bans here on the Phase 1. Maokai, and possibly a Caitlyn here coming in from FlyQuest.
Pretty surprising, actually, to see the Cho'Gath and the Maokai bans as a blue side Immortals. Kind of speaks to the fact that they may not be super comfortable on those picks.
That's right.
So maybe Immortals a little bit behind on the times. Coming into this week, need a little bit more time to prep those two, because Maokai and Cho'Gath, I think a lot of other teams are take them whenever they're up and put them in the top lane or the jungle. So banning both of those really takes away your flexibility, but they do get the Thresh for Olleh.
What next? I would say
That
why not? They get finally through picks and bans. Not sure when the last time that really was, but Gragas as well for Moon. They get a pretty good amount of power here to pick up and start off.
Yeah, and I think Caitlyn with some type of Ardent Sensor support is really strong. I think Lemonnation can play Morgana, Janna would be the two main that I would see that he'd pick into this, as Immortals are going kind of back to their classic summer split composition here, where they're stacking as much CC as possible for big initiations.
Very quickly locked in for the second phase. There's that Morgana shield coming through, as well as being able to block the deadly flourish combinations from Cody Sun's Jhin.
Yeah, Lemonnation has his champion pool, and he doesn't care what your champion pool is.
Ever.
He has his own. Currently, it's Sona, Morg, and Janna.
Was actually Tom for quite a bit. You get the Tom Kench, but not anymore. You can see his stats on that Morgana pick as our second phase of bans sweeping through. Talia out of the hands of Pobelter. I think that's a good choice. We got Camille on the other side to start things off for Immortals.
And I could still see him going with Twisted Fate again if they want to play this kind of late game style. Stall out the game for the Caitlyn to scale up a little bit. Don't think it would be the likely choice. I think Orianna has been High's go-to, and even though it hasn't found the most success, he almost always wins the laning phase with a pretty good blind pick mid laner as well, if they want to save the counter pick for top lane later. With Jarvan being locked in, they already know that matchup, so going to save last pick for the counter pick.
Comfortability. Very comfortable on the side of FlyQuest with their picks. The hovers back and forth. Seen a little trundle lately. Been enjoying that. Always fun to see him at support or on the top side.
Jungle Jarvan or mid lane Jarvan. Switcheroo here by Immortals. Like the mind games going on right here after the Rumble is kind of locked in. Saying now you get to lane against Renekton, have fun. A lot of flex picking going on by Immortals here.
Oh, the Lucian gets locked in. It finally gets back into that mid lane. He usually finds himself in the second phase against High in a lot of the teams towards the bottom of the tier list right now. But back in the mid, ADs all over the board this game.
Yeah, I mean, very low CC for FlyQuest. Kind of need to land the bindings from Morgana or get a really good body slam engage from Moon. Whereas Immortals have CC coming in from 4 different positions, and then the Corki who just spews damage out of the mid lane. So I think Immortals team composition much more fitting their style, but FlyQuest have a lot of damage if they get to late game.
All right, we'll see if Immortals can shake that off. Coming out of game 1, FlyQuest definitely had kind of one pivotal moment. They were able to turn the game around. Immortals being able to tag or lock onto that, stop it from happening this game is the hope. Coaches shake hands and they head off as they leave the players now to the rift in their champions. Hashtag Immortals win. IMT win, I should say. Hashtag Fly win. As we get on to the rift. As we said, a lot of comfort in the hands of these players coming through. A lot on the side of FlyQuest.
And if FlyQuest want any hope of making playoffs, they need to start winning matches. Up 1-0 against Immortals, who coming into today was tied for first place.
You heard Think Card giving those words of wisdom, saying we can win all the rest of these games out. It can happen. I know High knows it's true. He's almost done it before in a similar situation.
He has. He came into a Cloud9 team one time. It was 8th place and took him all the way to Worlds and then a 3-0 start to the group stage. So High knows you can turn things around at any point. This is a chanty crowd today, Riv.
They're saying Riv and Jatt.
I can never really hear through the headset.
But we absolutely love all of you, so it's... We'll see what happens here. Now it is time to cheer for the players. Immortals and FlyQuest onto the Rift. We'll have to see who can get that first blood. It was a tough lane for High last time, but he looks to give that same medicine back to Pobelter with this Lucian pick here. Storing shields so they can keep going at it.
Yeah. Sustain up, Lemonnation, the level 1 roam. Boom.
Got him, coach.
So early, though, he still has time to recall.
Yes.
Point out as well, I think this is the right call for Lemonnation. Ancient coin on Morgana. Everyone loves to go Spell Thieves on Morg because when you first did it, the Tormented Soil would give you all of your Spell Thief stacks. No longer does that. An Ancient Coin, I think, still just gives more gold than the Spell Thieves, so I think Lemonnation making the right call.
Coin as well. Like, there's a small factor of being able to do what you want and not have to proc those anymore. Same thing with relics, as we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
You get to choose your position in lane and gain that gold. Here we start on the red for Xmithie. Quick change up from his first Rumble jungle game now to a Jarvan in the jungle. Very reminiscent for his past. Oh, quick slice. Putting some dents in the chassis.
Not a friendly start.
Paws will make it to lane, though.
Flame's Renekton been his best champion this split. Many a Flame Horizon, where he's been 100 CS up on his opponent. Happened last week as Renekton against Jhin.
It becomes easier when you have such an aggressive early laner, too. We'll see if he can kind of slice and dice around that Rumble and avoid the Flame Spitter. Mid lane here. Even in CS, fantastic first wave management.
Yeah, I mean, Pobelter actually helped 4 CS on High if he gets all these at the turret.
Yeah.
As he, did he get, perfect CSing there
Got
by
him, coach.
Pobelter. High does get the ward, though. Was the ward worth the 75 gold of the 4 missed CS?
Trying to get that piercing light through. Not as easy to do with changes of recent. So you have a little lack of damage there as you try to get close. Hits that one, though. As they keep farming it out. Looking to where the junglers are going now. Moon Xmithie's path kind of towards the top side of the map. And we may see Moon finishing on that Gromp. Xmithie could get something working on the top side here.
He's going to take the Krugs. Didn't get enough harass onto Balls' Rumble. But still, going to get a good chunk of gold.
Flame coming down as well, saying, if Moon's here, I'm here too. But that also lets Balls realize there might be a little bit of aggression towards that top side. Quick push here. Turtle puts Cody Sun and Olleh right against the turret, but in a good spot to keep getting their shots in. Very nice spot for Lemonnation, that is. You can just keep feeding bindings in through that brush, so they're happy to sit there.
Yeah, Xmithie and Moon have kind of passed through each other early on in the jungle here. Moon knows the Raptors were left up by Xmithie. Jarvan, not a good Raptor taker early on, so definitely open to being counter-jungled.
Huh. Interesting. We've seen a lot of the Corkis going with their Gatling level, and against High's Lucian, he's going to be going Phosphorus with the Relentless Pursuit as well, which is kind of considered like almost a counter in lane when you match this as bot laners.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see if that comes into play. A play in. Remember, you can still take that hook in even on the Black Shield. That one was a little road to success from a minion, but still gets a good play in and damage control onto Turtle.
Yeah, a lot of harass, and not much sustain can come through from the Morgana. Here they go.
After the other hooks him over the shoulder, Turtle, once they get the flash out, Summoner Heal is still there being held by both of the bot laners, so they could take this one to the limit. Nice dodge out towards the dark, the death sentence, I should say.
Lemon and Turtle not backing down in that lane. Even with Flash being burned from Olleh, still heal and ignite up on FlyQuest. Jungler's nowhere to be seen.
Just got to watch fourth shot and extra damage. Cody Sun could still flash forward to finalize that kill with Turtles being down and Moon just, I believe, getting seen there in the back pocket. He may have actually been able to get around. Scryer's Bloom, make him a little more safe. Looks like he'll actually stay towards mid for now. Waiting for that counter gank.
Yeah, Lemonnation with the greedy buy. Did this last game as well. Early recall to upgrade his Ancient Coin to a No Man's Medallion. Increases the amount of gold he gets from the coin drops. Now gets 40 gold on the coin drops. Like that call. You don't need to win in CS to win lane, as long as you get more gold than your opponent.
My teammates will beg to differ, Jatt.
They'll see the CS is down, they're like, what are you doing? You're like, bro, I know I'm up in gold, you can't see it.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, that's how Lemonnation talks, you can tell.
See, we have a back from Lemon, actually spends quite a bit of gold for, I'm sorry, a back from Turtle, spends quite a bit of gold. He just gets some quick wards down. Mismatch is known, so Immortals takes that time to get some aggression for themselves onto that top side. Possibly a flag and drag here. They're just kind of waiting to see what he does. Like, will he blow his flash? Maybe he will. No, he holds it, balls nose, dead to rights.
Yeah, you've seen Rumbles try and make that cheeky flash over the wall. Then he said, you know, Xmithie saved all of his spells. He would just chase me. Better to save the flash for later.
And who else than to give first blood to the top lane for Renekton? Flame is going to feel very good coming back into this one. Already armor stacking over on the side of balls. Not going to hurt the early game, but it is Tabby's into another cloth armor.
Yeah, good luck up here, man. Renekton is crazy when he gets ahead, especially Flame's Renekton with the help of Jarvan. Xmithie's Jarvan was behind a little bit in experience early. The kill will help, but definitely not been hard farming. Note he's going with the Cinder Hulk Jarvan. So many Jarvans you see are Warrior, but especially with the 900 gold access to Bomby Cinder and how fast that can let you clear. I like the tank Jarvan, so to speak, with the Cinder Hulk. You can still go Titanic Hydra later, but just a very efficient jungle item currently.
Clean CSing still in mid. You hear that back from high actually on his Lucian. Working with just about 2,000 gold for him to come back. Serrated Dirk from Cody Sun to the BF Sword in lane. Turtle and Lemon still with that kill pressure, but they have to be careful because we've seen Cody Sun and Olleh very happy to take those fights just as well and keep going. Fourth shot, I should say, rather. Give them a lot of advantage in lane.
Serrated Dirk completed versus BF Sword. BF Sword is more expensive, but you can argue the Serrated Dirk gives you more laning power.
Yeah.
How strong armor penetration is early on in the game.
Long swords for high. Stacking them up to the right. A pair of boots as well, so we can start dodging out some more of these Foss bombs without the relentless pursuit. Top lane returns in as well. So teleport down for balls here. Level 6 and 7s being hit for the solo laners. So we may see Flame, if he does get enough pressure in lane, be able to just take an adventure around the map without losing that. Nice little steal.
Get the blue buff over to Pobelter, no problem. Bottom lane being a little controlled by FlyQuest. Even if they're down 10 CS, they still have the wave pressure.
Yep. Oh, so small and bounce, yeah. You can see Lemon's intent, push the wave. I am going to Tormented Soil the entire thing, not just the back line. And they say as long as these guys are down here, we can start to create pressure. Make sure we're not getting ganked. We'll package back to mid, which makes our Pobelter doesn't lose too much CS.
He wants to run so bad.
The fadeaway.
Yeah, Xmithie pretty powerful right now. Would want to force high Summer's help, but can't quite get in range. And I'm going to keep saying this.
Say it.
Oh, hold on. They might dive bottom with the package. I'm going to talk about Ancient Coin again. Be warned. Just look at the gold difference from these guys. Lemonnation is sitting at 588 gold earned, and Olleh is sitting at 318 gold earned. Just go coin on Thresh. You're not actually getting that much from your Targon's Brace. The extra gold is going to make you tankier later, and it's going to let you build your support items that help you support better anyway.
The heal as well, not amazing.
Yeah, the heal's okay, but I mean...
It's okay.
Cody Sun's gonna be fine.
Gold is great. Imagine that being more pink wards in your inventory, because that's the difference. What, 200 some gold?
And this early.
Already a few pink wards.
It gets more pronounced later.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
A little bit of love for the top side here. He could play this on his Rumble, but maybe another day. 3v1 too much. The ball's on that. Flash does go down on this play. WildTurtle, Lemonnation going hard on the bot side, but they are losing straight HP on this. Wrong side indeed. And that's double summoners for a bot lane down.
Yeah, I mean, must have started with the hook or something, because that was heavily one-sided for Immortals.
They didn't have to open up a curtain call either.
Cody Sun walks away with full health. Watch this one more time.
Oh,
takes the late. Death Sentence in on Black Shield, and then WildTurtle nets into the box. So really dead to rights there after all is said and done. Unfortunate for them, they couldn't give the kill over to Cody Sun. Olleh ends up taking it.
You guys are backing. I'll take this. Thank you.
I'll take that for the gold point.
So ball's now in mid. Oh, High went topside. Interesting.
Yeah. Get me out of here, says Rumble.
With the flash down, the long lane is super scary for him. Eyes is down as well, but he takes it upon himself to make sure he can play safe on the top side with that relentless pursuit. So they're switching it up to be whatever will help the situation. It looks like they'll go ahead and hover back now.
Yeah, still going to be a rough time for the Rumble. The Renekton, Jarvan, Corki dive, really not much he could have done unless they scouted it out early. But they did not scout it out early. Lemon with the roam mid.
Black Cleaver finished on Flame. High starts to control this a little bit with the amount of damage he can put out as that Spell Slinger Lucian. Looks like it might be Ocean Drake to maybe tempt something here. See if they can get a pick.
Well, as the Ocean Drake setup is happening.
Oh, whoa! Synergy! What? Synergize! Recoup!
More people!
They had to reassess this fight now. They used a bit of abilities to lock down the targets they wanted. Priority now to High and Xmithie. As it's 1-for-1, there's still damage left up on the fight here for Immortals. Quick pop over the wall. Gets Lemonnation to safety. Maybe? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, he wants to either execute or make the kill go to Olleh. He's not going to have neither of those.
Got him out. Thought he would get the execute. Safety is relative.
Yeah, good mobility by Thresh right there. And a good fight for Immortals overall. They just had the numbers advantage at the very start of that one. So even if High got a kill over to begin with, for the Lucian, still a big advantage gained by Immortals. Just watching this one more time, FlyQuest was hoping to instantly kill Xmithie, but they don't. And then they're in enemy territory, and their Rumble is just not there yet, whereas Renekton can teleport in to the Jarvan standard right in the middle of the fight.
Pings over towards blue. Immortals looks like they have something on their plate. It's going to be the resources of FlyQuest. Saying that will be up soon as they have the timer. And Vision in the River will be owned now by Immortals. 5-1 to start things off. Immortals again having quite the early game. Pobelter 2-0-1. It's actually from the fights that have been happening around his lane this time. Catching a bit of a break though. He's able to get some kills for himself too this time around.
Yeah, looks like he's going the Duskblade. Either Duskblade, Ghostblade, or Duskblade, Black Cleaver. No way of telling yet. Pretty common Lucian build nowadays, especially if he's up against Corki, and no easy armor stackers on Immortals as of yet.
Such a calm game. There have been a lot of kills. A lot of respect in these laning phases. I feel like you see a lot more of these AD carries kind of going toe-to-toe, one time after the other. They just play it calm. We're not doing anything around the map, but Dragon.
Yeah.
Going over to FlyQuest real quick as they sneak that one out. Immortals looking to grab top lane for this one. His Ball's still actually not having the best of lanes, but is getting his items in slowly. Yeah,
now 1,400 gold down to Flame. Will be a fairly large problem. Mid-game Renekton is really hard to deal with, especially Flame Renekton. So Immortals starting to take over the map right here. It's very quickly becoming that same situation we were in previously. Lemon, though, not necessarily worth it.
Yeah, trying to dodge out, use his life bait in the rest of that. Or rather, Pobelter knew it was going down. Blue buff to blue buff here. This may be that action we were looking for. Olleh creeping up.
They're prepping to dive. That's why Olleh wants to get vision control. Jarvan is over the wall.
I need to see him here.
High still has culling. He wants to clear another wave. Doing his best to keep these turrets alive. Because they're in stall mode again.
Yeah. And I think Immortals has kind of realized that as well. They're just walking around saying, yeah, you can see us, but that doesn't mean we can't initiate with a Jarvan and a Renekton still. High just kind of walks out of lane like, yeah, I have to respect this. Taking good damage from Pobelter, though. It does keep Xmithie in Pobelter's back pocket. They always have a chance, it looks like, to take High down. He is very aware of this. Backs when it seems a little too quiet.
Yeah, Immortals very good at playing this style. Did let game one kind of slip away from them, but their mid game has been one of their strengths all year. Rift heralded in.
Wow. He's going to actually be able to get a lot of damage on this second tier turret if they stick with it. Flames off on the
get another
left.
charge in, at the least.
There you go. About 20%. Good hits coming in. Pobelter able to do quite a bit of damage with that Triforce. Then they're turning on the fight as it's Flame finding balls out of position on this one. The equalizer thrown down in the choke, but it's not enough. Flame rolls out on that like a slip and slide, but he is going to be caught by High and Moon now. Curtain call to save him. They have so much utility that's not in the fight. Cody Sun can fire from the back line. Olleh, a sliver of help from going down, tries to save himself. And the team now has to bail on this one. They call Cody back from the turtle fight, and they are going to make their way towards mid.
Killed by the burn from Cinderhulk as Moon picks up a kill on the backside, but mainly just another win by Immortals. They were pressuring the inner turret for FlyQuest. FlyQuest decided to make the initiation, but Flame's Renekton is just too big. Balls was trying to get a flank in for his equalizer, cast it now, but it's already too late. Olleh, the initial guy who has been initiated on, does his best to try and keep him alive here. Takes that hook in, turns the kill around, but he does get hit by the root of Lemon in his dying breaths, and Moon picks up the kill. Still worth it overall, though. The 2-for-1 plus a turret for Immortals.
All that vision placed by FlyQuest, somewhat protecting the jungle here, but Immortals able to just kind of romp through these fights, vision or not. It just takes the one catch. Turtle now is starting to clear waves, 163 to 176 as they build their items. He's actually just built up Static Shiv off that BF sword and Circuit, so he's waiting to build up some more gold here. FlyQuest regaining a bit more control. Let's see what Immortals' next move is here. It looks like they're actually just going to go back to somewhat of a laning phase, if you will.
Yeah, there's one outer turret left. It's in the bottom lane. Mountain Drake is the next Drake, and then probably look towards Baron. So if you're trying to predict where Immortals will go next, it is bottom. They'll get the turret, they'll gain control around Mountain Drake, they'll take Mountain Drake, and then they'll be able to have a higher threat on Baron. So I think the playbook is kind of laid out before Immortals. It's just a matter of them being far enough ahead to do it and doing it right.
Solo ward missions coming in from the Black Shield and Lemonnation. 1 minute on to Baron, just about the same coming in for our next Drake. Cody Sun skirting the edge of death there for a moment as he tries to face High. That solo experience in CS and lane made High pretty big, but once you put him in a 2v1, things get a bit trickier. Able to dodge out of this. Black Shield coming through. The Flayed power up. Flash forward from Pobelter. Has the Valkyrie to get himself back into a good situation. He's going to be able to zero out Lemon. The hit from Soul Shackles locks him up just for a moment, though. Explosive Cask is back. This long fight going in favor of Immortals now as they just able to whittle down FlyQuest towards the bottom side of the map.
And Riv, Immortals is really good. They knew where they had to go next.
I agree.
They sent everyone there, and they made it work. FlyQuest, sure, High tried to make a play to stop the Immortals collapse bottom from happening, but where was the rest of the team? If they were ready for Immortals to collapse bottom side, they would have had people bottom side. But Flame had pushed out the top lane. They were still trying to defend the inner turret in the mid lane, and Immortals are just so far ahead of tempo, and they're punishing FlyQuest for it.
And look at the push from Flame as well. He is going to match this top turret with that wave coming in. He pushed up mid, so they have to respect it. Here's the fight again.
Yeah, Olleh's Thresh. You can see why it's worthy of a first pick right there. Kind of holding High in place. The before the curtain called, and Pobelter
Says no.
says, whose Black Shield is this? I don't care, I'm just gonna kill him anyway. Still does 20% physical damage with his auto attacks. That's enough to cut through. Xmithie then locks in Moon, allows Pobelter to just unleash the damage, and a triple kill to a Corki in this stage of the game is very scary.
You're feeling pretty good. Had a great Slia play last game. The Corki coming out to a 5-0 and 3 this time. It happened much differently though. It's been all around the map for Immortals this time, as it was mid lane control for Pobelter in game 1. I still have to remember, it came down to those objectives, is where FlyQuest was able to get under Immortals' skin. It seems like they've been staying away from that this game, and really just working the pressure they have on the map towards the turrets.
Pobelter been playing really well. And just like we talked about, Riv, get bottom, get Mountain Drake. You know what's coming next? Baron pressure.
Baron pressure. See how much gold they're sitting on. Just about 500 in every pocket of Immortals. No need to go back here. They're fighting with the utmost power they can put in their inventory. And Dustblade almost up here for Cody Sun. If he can get himself into a sneaky spot, get that damage out. Looks like the team will just brute force mid here. The things they can do after they've been set up, and FlyQuest is spread a little thin to clear out the waves.
Yeah, the one thing Immortals would be lacking would be control wars, but they have so much raw power. They might just take these outer turrets before even thinking about Barons, forcing the equalizer out at least.
They're only lacking control wars because they don't have a coin. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
They'd be up 500 more gold if Thresh had an coin.
Oh, let's say FlyQuest might be up a few more gold pieces after a kill there. 0-1-5 Xmithie will still be taken down for a bit of global gold. Oh, he is very close to toying with death. He gets himself now to a safe spot, as Pobelter wouldn't have been able to do much for him there. Pushing turrets up, or pushing the minions up to the turrets here. Again, they cannot be stopped. And FlyQuest kind of reminiscing at this point in the game of what they did last game. We'll push a little bit, but towards the base is where we're going to have to fight them on those stairs.
Yeah, I mean, the largest deficit FlyQuest faced in game 1 was about 8.8 thousand gold. They're approaching that point at 22 minutes. In game 1, that didn't happen until about 35 minutes. So a much more impressive early game this time by Immortals. As we mentioned in the draft, I mean, Immortals took the champions that they've been best at. Sure, there's the Cho'Gath and the Maokai that are kind of throwing this patch in a little bit of flux, and lethality builds you can do. But Immortals are picking what they're most comfortable with. Cody Sun's a good Jhin player. He can adapt to the lethality build very quickly. And they're not comfortable with Maokai or Cho'Gath yet, so they just banned him out.
And they can flex that Jarvan, which was the Rumble pick for Balls. They thought that was going to be a much better matchup for him, and Renekton comes out in the end from Flame. A lot of versatility, even if they aren't matching what's in the meta. What feels comfortable to them seems to be working for Immortals. They still look for the top of those standings here towards the end of the split. They look for a few more kills now, routing FlyQuest in their own jungle. A lot of ward wars going down here, so FlyQuest seems to have a bit of the vision upper hand. Immortals being timid, but also taking their chances when the window's open.
Yeah, and there's not many windows they have to get vision here. Flame with teleport, unduelable. So they just have to let him push. Everyone on Immortals buys their control wards.
Oh!
Over this side. The rapid fire cannon Trinity Force shot from Pobelter.
Wow. He gets to hang out in lane by himself now. Figures he can just about, or take just about any member on the side of FlyQuest if they can't get a partner there in time. Flame pushing up mid. Bot lane is actually just going to fizzle out here as Ball's got that push up, and now he's got to rotate up. Baron being started by Immortals.
Yeah, and there's so much fear of checking in this jungle because of Thresh. Moon knows it's a steal attempt, though. He's trying to go, not going to make it.
Oh, locked up and stopped. Ruthless Predator, and then Moon goes down, even trying to flash forward out of the situation. High towards the top side, so the team's a little split, but the traps are laid, and Immortals is slowed. They don't have the waves just yet to push in this Baron, but they're right behind them.
Yeah, total control by Immortals. Nice Baron play right there. Keeping Olleh and Flame out to peel, not letting Moon get in there in time while they push the Baron down. And Oh my goodness, one auto takes Lemonnation half out.
I don't want to know what two will do, Jatt. 25 minutes in, 11-2. Immortals holding on to the lead that they had in game 1 and pressuring that into an advantage that's going to look like a win here for game 2. It looks like game 3 very much so on the horizon. Immortals just have to put the finishing touches on.
Oh yeah, they have 2,000 gold in everyone's inventories to go back and just get even more powerful. They were already running through FlyQuest. Plus they got a whole 3 minutes left on this Baron buff. So expect another inhibitor or two to go down. And if they catch a fight, it's game before 30 minutes. Oh my goodness.
As he flourish dodge, High takes the same amount of damage. He connects even before he makes it into the brush to deny vision. A flash forward here with the teleporting flame in. He brings the fire to the base of FlyQuest. And it is going to be more kills padding the stats of Immortals as they start to take down the inhibitors and look for the Nexus turrets. Waiting on the minions.
Yeah, the equalizer by Balls tries to cut him off. There's 3 ambitious minions following Immortals to victory here. Only Balls and WildTurtle to try and clear these away. If they can get the minions, the turrets would gain a lot more health. So it's going to actually be hard for Immortals to kill that last turret.
Quick kill onto Turtle. He cannot do much as they just continue to zero him out. Paul says, I will stop these minions. Well, they say, we'll get him from the bot side.
Yeah. There are 3 waves we can use.
That's what happens when you set the game up this well. Immortals not giving an inch this time around in a very quick 26-minute turnaround. It looks like FlyQuest going to go for broken. One last attempt to stop them and save the base from being taken down. There's the kill going on to Lemonnation. The turrets fall as well. Simultaneously, a last hook going over on to High. That's the kill as well onto Moon. 1, 2, 3. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, says Immortals. We're going to game 3.
27 minutes of domination by Immortals. This is the type of game that a first place team wants to play. And Immortals was able to do it this game. Game 1, they had that 8,000 gold lead. The FlyQuest came back and they just got walloped in game 2.
It's got to feel good for Immortals because when you have a game 1 as it happened and you can't come out and pull a game 2 on, that sets into your mindset saying really why is it the mid game for us now? Because Immortals hasn't shown us this type of error in their play too often this season. Yeah. Right? They've been able to kind of hold that off.
Yeah, important to be able to bounce back from that type of game because we mentioned in our intro for this series that this is a potential trap game for Immortals. They're thinking about first place and a playoff bye, knowing they have COG coming up tomorrow and knowing the TSM lost earlier. That's going to be a match for sole possession of first place. If they can win against FlyQuest, a lot of times you overlook that, and then losing the first game, sometimes you can panic a little bit, and it doesn't look good to ban things like Cho'Gath and Maokai that they did in this game, because you say, well, maybe they're giving away too much. Do they not really play these? But this is why, because they're so good at the other strategies. 19 kills to 2, 27-minute win.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing I feel with those bans, it's going to sound backwards, is the kind of Lemonnation takes into strategy saying, oh, those teams aren't playing meta. We're able to work around that. And that's what you're saying teams may be able to do with those picks coming up for Immortals. However, comfort was what did get onto the Rift for them, back to the Renekton, back to other things, the Corki in the mid lane playing very well for them, and switching up the Jarvan, throwing off FlyQuest a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much a full utility Jarvan. I mean, Cinder Hulk early did almost nothing but gank, and he's only level 4 on this first gank, but he comes when the top laners are both level 6. Balls probably would have been able to retrieve from that on his equalizer if Flame didn't have backup from Xmithie, and then they can just repeat it. They have the package from Corki, they have control over this side of the map, and Balls was expecting to lane against Jarvan. I think both Jarvan and Renekton can be bad, but Renekton is just so much more reliable for his lockdown onto the Rumble. They played off the top side of the map. They kept finding fights. You can see the Corki did all the damage because that's kind of what Corki does, but this type of incredibly CC-heavy pick composition from Immortals that relies on vision control and denial has been what's got them to first place. They pulled it out again, and they crushed.
Strong early game. I say strong, it goes up gradually, but they know they had the control. As we saw, things being set into place one after the other. Those turrets were controlled, and the Rift Herald as well being big for these guys, being able to take down more than one turret at a time. Immortals is spiking well, and they're using those spikes well. It's just watching those objectives, FlyQuest is really good at getting under their skin at that situation.
Yeah, FlyQuest always kind of sneaks around in a lot of these games, and it's important that you're able to keep them down for the duration. And they really did that this game.
Yep.
FlyQuest never had those opportunities where you think, oh, maybe if this goes right, they come back. They were just crushed by Immortals. The vision was never there for FlyQuest, and it was always Immortals starting the fights.
And I see great score lines all around. Like we said, it was Comfort coming in for Immortals on that side. Pobelter actually picking up POG on this one.
Yeah.
We saw those shots from the rapid fire cannon basically destroying Lemonnation anytime he tried to get in range. He said, well, I can black shield and dodge a hook, but those shots cannot be dodged from Pobelter. And it didn't even come out of the laning phase this time. The team was roaming. He had to help get to those kills in the early part of the game.
Exactly. The usage of the package on Corki was very effective. It helped get the top lane rolling ahead. Main contributor as far as objective control as well. Highest kill participation on the team in something which is hard to do when you have a Thresh and a Jarvan roaming around, right? So he was doing all of it. And he may have had a chance of getting into game one because he's had highest number in laning phase both games. This one, though, he just converted much more strongly. We'll
see if Immortals can repeat heading into game 3. The games start coming, and they don't stop coming. So meet us back here for the series conclusion of FlyQuest versus Immortals. Don't touch that browser.
Come on, he has no E, he has no E.
Okay. He has flash. Try and get him. Oh, wow. I can go for him still.
Yep.
I got
Ward. Yep. A ward here.
Hey, Caitlyn top.
Stop them.
Caitlyn top. And they're TPing. Keep going forward. Hey, no Caitlyn, keep going.
Yeah. He cancelled TP.
I cancel too.
Okay.
I go mid.
Nice.